When it comes to US foreign policy, the last 4 years have been erratic and prone to sudden changes under President Donald Trump, and there's no sign that's changing on his way out.
By January 15th, 2021, our forces, their size in Afghanistan will be 2,500 troops. Our force size in Iraq will also be 2,500 by that same date.
Just days after Trump fired Defense Secretary Mark Esper, his replacement announcing deep cuts in US troop levels in the greater Middle East. Immediate criticism at the hasty move came from the president's political allies and adversaries alike, and speculation that troop levels from Somalia to South Korea could also be slashed as Trump heads back into private life. Or will he?
There will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration.
After that controversial remark, US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo embarked on a tour of Europe and the Middle East, partly to push the US case for more sanctions on Iran. Meanwhile, multiple media reports say that in addition to sanctions, military action against Iran has been considered in the waning days of Trump's presidency, prompting this response from Tehran.
The Americans sought to create social tension in our country and disrupt internal security, but they failed 100% in all their goals. Of course, they put pressure on the Iranian people.
Pompeo and others are also eyeing more sanctions against China over Hong Kong and Chinese technology, as well as defense companies, as part of the drive against the People's Republic. A big decision looms too over one of the last remaining nuclear arms control pacts with Russia. The START treaty, signed a decade ago, limits the number of nuclear weapons both Washington and Moscow can deploy. It expires in February, and talks to extend it have been deadlocked. Fears of a new nuclear arms race between the two former Cold War rivals are very real. Meanwhile, the projected winner of the 2020 election, Joe Biden, is holding virtual national security briefings with his own advisors after being blocked from receiving the normal transitional national security briefings by the White House. So is the US president's final foreign policy push a bid to deliver as much of his agenda as possible, or just to make life difficult for his projected successor? The answer right now isn't very clear. What we do know is both men have very different ideas on US foreign policy and how the US should act abroad to its allies and adversaries alike. What's also clear is that the US president is happy to keep the United States and the rest of the world on edge until his last days in office. That's kind of how he likes it.